2019 Lamborghini Urus first drive, the SUV for supercar drivers. How the Urus is a first for Lamborghini. Remember the opening scene from The Italian Job? The 1969 original, not that turgid 2003 remake. The Roger Beckermann character, cigarette dangling from the corner of his mouth, hustles a red Lamborghini Miura up and over a snaking Alpine pass as Matt Monro's silvery baritone lounges over Quincy Jones' lush strings, tinkling piano, and muted trumpets. On days like these, dee-dah, dee-dah, dee-da-da-dah.
On days like these, when the skies are blue and
The 2019 Lamborghini Urus has almost twice the horsepower of that Miura, and with a top speed of 189 miles per hour, it's faster. It's also a 4,900-pound, four-door SUV you can power slide down a gravel road. Forget Matt Monro. We're talking Sex Pistols meets 9-inch nails, with a dash of Devo thrown in for good measure, right? An angry wedge of a thing, hunkered down on massive wheels, with 4 rocket launcher-sized exhausts out back, the Urus looks ready to rip the roof off a passing Fiat. But inside is a cabin that's more Prada than punk rock, a modernistic melange of leather and Alcantara, soft sheen aluminum, and carbon fiber. And there's ample room for 4 6-foot-plus adults and their luggage. Ferruccio Lamborghini may have created seminal supercars, the Miura, the Countach, but he had a passion for fast, powerful, comfortable Gran Turismos. He would have loved the Urus. Johnny Lieberman drove a prototype of the Urus late last year, so we only need a quick recap of the technical highlights. It's built on the same Devo hardware that underpins the Bentley, Bentayga, Porsche, Cayenne, and Audi Q7. The 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 under the hood punches out 641 horsepower at 6,000 revolutions per minute and 627 pounds-feet of torque from 2,250 revolutions per minute, and it drives all 4 wheels via an 8-speed automatic transmission. Default torque split is 40/60ths front to rear, though the system can send as much as 85% to the front wheels and almost 100% to the rear, if needed. Rear wheel steering and active torque vectoring help the big Lambo. It's 201.6 inches long overall and rolls on a 118.2-inch wheelbase, turn crisply in 2 corners at low speeds and stay stable through fast sweepers. Air suspension allows the ride height to drop 0.6 inches in sport and Corsa modes and rise 1.6 inches in the off-road modes, which also decouple the active roll bars to improve wheel articulation. These wheels are 21 inches with 22s and 23s available as an option, and Pirelli has developed 7 new P0 tires to suit, including a sport-oriented Corsa, an off-road capable Scorpion, and a snow tire. Back in the 80s, when Lamborghini built the bonkers LM002, off-roading was all about the mechanicals. Now it's all about the electronics. Something Lamborghini calls the Tamburo dominates the Urus center console. It looks a high-style Game Boy controller, and in a sense, it is. This is how you get to play games with the Urus. On the left of the Tamburo is a lever labeled Anima that switches the Urus electronic brain through 6 modes. Strada is the default street mode, while Sport and Corsa sharpen the engine, transmission, and chassis responses for fast road and track work, just as they do in a Huracan or a Aventador. Beyond those are settings that are new territory for Lamborghini: Sabbia, for sand; Terra, for gravel; and Neve, for snow. On the right is a lever labeled Ego, very Lamborghini, with which drivers can mix and match settings for powertrain, steering, and suspension to suit themselves. The Urus feels casually fast. Lamborghini claims a 0 to 60 time of under 3.5 seconds, with 124 miles per hour arriving in 12.8 seconds, but it all happens without the hair-on-fire shriek of an Aventador V12 or barrel-chested boom of a Huracan V10. Oh, there's engine noise, and progressively more when you switch through sport and into Casa modes, but it's mostly artificial and all rather mellow by comparison. What impresses more is the Urus' cool composure as it monsters a winding road, or, as we did on the launch program, the quick and technical 2.5-mile Autodromo Belunga, 20 miles north of Rome. Although sporty and low-slung by SUV standards, the Urus is still a relatively tall and relatively heavy piece of machinery to hurl around a racetrack, which made the absence of roll, dive, squat, or diagonal pitch of Belunga all the more remarkable. The big Lamborghini stayed flat and stuck hard, even through the daunting fifth-gear change of direction into the gentle left immediately after the curved grande right-hander. You know you've reached the dynamic limits when the front tires cry uncle. Not even Pirelli can overcome the engine-forward configuration of Audi's ML Vivo architecture. Breakaway is smooth and progressive, however, a gentle warning rather than a sudden tangential shift. It's best to be patient with the Urus, especially on slow to mid-speed corners, washing off the speed before the apex and squeezing on the power once past it, letting the AWD system distribute the torque. The carbon ceramic brakes, giant 17.3-inch rotors with 10-piston calipers up front and 14.6-inch items at the rear, are unquenchable, hauling the Urus down from triple-digit speeds without a hint of fade, corner after corner. Quibbles? There's not a ton of feel from the front tires, though the steering is as sharp as a tax lawyer. And the 8-speed automatic isn't as polished as the rest of the powertrain. Upshifts thump emergently in sport and Casa modes, momentarily upsetting the Urus' composure, an annoying characteristic that has been deliberately dialed in to make customers who don't know any better feel like they're driving a supercar. Yet the downshifts feel curiously slow and lazy, like an old Mercedes. Few owners will ever take their Uruses off-road, apart, perhaps, from wealthy Middle Eastern buyers indulging in a little sand surfing in the desert dunes. But Lamborghini had carved out a bijou rally stage at Belunga, and, well, it would have been rude not to. Unlike the cars selected for road and track duties, which rolled on Pirelli P0 Casa tires, 285/40 front and 325/35 rear, mounted on the optional 22-inch alloys, the dirt track Uruses had the standard 21-inch wheels fitted with 285/45 and 315/40 P0 Scorpions front and rear. A flick of the on-ema level to select Terra mode, increasing the ride height and changing the powertrain mapping, and we were good to go. What did we learn? The long wheelbase makes it tricky to flick a big Lamborghini into a tight turn like a Scandinavian rally racer, but you can boot the gas and get the tail out pretty much whenever you feel like it. It rides big bumps very well, the suspension feeling suppler than you'd expect. The ABS calibration could be improved, as there were a couple of moments when the pedal went numb. But this is arcana most owners will never experience. Suffice it to say the Urus is more capable off the blacktop than many modern SUVs. Perhaps the most illuminating section of the Urus drive program was the 20-mile road loop around Lago di Bracciano near Belunga, unopened, occasionally gnarly tarmac awash with weekend traffic and pelotons of laggard cyclists. The Urus loafed along at 30 miles per hour to 60 miles per hour with insouciantes, the long wheelbase and wide track calming the primary ride motions, the torquey V8 burbling off in the distance. The secondary ride got busy in places, an inevitable side effect of 22-inch wheels and low-profile tires, but the comfy, supportive seats soaked up most of the jitters. It's fast on the track and fun on the dirt, and at $200,000, it's the least expensive new Lambo you can buy. But the real appeal of the Urus is it's the first Lamborghini in history that's a genuine daily driver, a raging bull you can take anywhere, anytime. As we slouched past Lago di Bracciano, glassy smooth in the warmth of a glorious Italian spring morning, the temptation to point the Urus down the next road to the right and blast 400 miles up the autostrada toward the Alps was almost overwhelming. On days like these,
it's on days like these that I remember singing songs and drinking wine while your eyes played games with mine. On days like these,
Thanks for watching. Tell us if you have any opinion of the 2019 Lamborghini Urus. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe the channel if you think this video is useful.